We're at your grandmother's house on Burnham Street North, just south of Camborne.
Yeah, 3360 Burnham Street North.
Tell me about what's been happening.
Over the last couple of years, they've developed the property across the road and up and over a hill. And because they've put a house up there, they've diverted the water coming down his driveway into a ditch across the road. Well, they've dug the ditch deeper right across the road from our driveway to help divert the water. And they put a drain spout right underneath the road, right onto our property. And now all of the water that's coming down from the hill, from the property they've been developing, is all coming right down on our property.
Tell me about, and again, just to make this clear, there's your property, your neighbor's property, but none of this is township or county property in between.
No, everything is privately owned between the neighbor on either side of us. So us and neighbors on both sides is all private property.
And again, to make it clear, there's no ditch where the whatever is in the culvert. It's not a culvert, but there's no ditch where the spout comes out onto this side of the roadway.
No, the ditch comes, or the culvert that they've put in, there's no ditch to it, from it, nothing like that. It comes right out beside our driveway, and they've let it just go between us and the neighbor's property, where there's a natural little V in the property, and they expect it to hold all this water.
And even little water or large water, it's going to go in between your grandmother's house and the neighbor's house, like, because there's no ditch at all.
There's nothing. No, what you see is what you get.
Tell me what happened this morning.
This morning I woke up at about 8 o'clock. I went to check the basement just to make sure there was no flooding, and I went down in almost half the basement, which is all finished, nice furniture, electronics, pool room. It's flooded. And I've been down there with pumps and shop vacs and hoses and electrical cords, trying to do my best to stay ahead of it.
And up here, you found the root of the problem is the water was being diverted into the garage.
Well, the water, yeah, in order to keep up with the flow coming off the hill and his driveway, they've dug the ditch a little bit deeper to account for the amount of water, and it just can't keep up. So now they've made us the low point and the focus point of all the water coming through.
And the path went right in, if you can describe?
The path went basically right in. It flooded our entire driveway. It came into the garage. It's now gone down the front because it couldn't keep up. All the drywall in the basement, you can hear water running behind the drywall. Like, I literally had to pull a piece of the baseboard trim off to allow the water to flow out because it was pushing the baseboard off.
Wow.
It's got a brand new furnace down there, brand new everything, and like, she just spent thousands and thousands of dollars on a brand new gas furnace, and it's sitting in this much water.
And they did this not too many years ago?
I'd say within 4 or 5 years, because that's since they started developing up top. There was always a little bit of water that was diverted, but once they dug the ditch deeper to help with the problem on the top of the hill, everything just flooded to the bottom of the hill.
So forgive me, I don't know what to call it, but is the hole of the pipe always been there?
As long as I can remember, it's been there, yeah.
It's just when they dug it, that's when...
They dug it deeper, and they made that the low point where all the water collects, so it's been way too much for the culvert to handle. It's not even really a culvert, it's only 8 inches wide.
And it's not really, and again, if I can say, and again, by all means, please, but it's not really so much that I've seen, and this is the first time I've been here, but I mean, it's not so much even the water handling it, it's where it's going right off the hop, because they built it with no access for the water to drain other than onto private property.
Yeah, that'd be correct. There was no thought after it was diverted onto our property where it was going to go after that. Basically, once it was not on the road or in their ditch, it wasn't their problem anymore. Now it's our problem.
Gentleman came, and is that basically what he said? The gentleman came from the county? Is that basically...
He told us that the water wasn't running on his road, so it's not his water, it's not his responsibility, it's the responsibility of the homeowner.
And your thought?
My thought? No comment. I'd like to say a lot of things, but then again, I'd like to say a lot of things a lot of times, so yeah, no comment.
Pulled off the...
I came down this morning, I pulled off this piece of board, which you can see is moldy from the last time. All the water came rushing out right through here, because this is the side that faces the driveway. We've got water damage up to knee height, all the way around the entire basement. There's water coming out right beside the electrical receptacles, and that's brand new today. So you can hear the water trickling down the wall. You go into this room, this is a brand new furnace. You know, clearly this is not good. This is a brand spanking new furnace put in last year, and now it's underwater. New hot water tank just put in, it's underwater. All the waters, the system saver pellets and everything, that's underwater. My grandfather passed away 20 years ago. All of his tools and his worldly possessions are underwater. He was a woodworker. Everything's made of wood, not metal. It's all going to shit. And there's nothing I can do about it because it's not the county's responsibility, it's ours. We put the culvert in, remember? All of this is all screwed, and it stops right about here. This time. I've already had to patch holes, like pool room and everything, like that's all gonna get diverted. You come out here, and that's what I'm looking at the backyard. What happens when all that snow melts?
And this is all from like all this pond.
This all come right down here. It hits the bottom, right where those bricks are stacked, and then it starts to pool. And then it goes out towards the forestway, and it comes up towards us, because our yard right here kind of makes a bowl between Steve's and Ian's, and here, this is what we're dealt with. And this is supposed to be our responsibility, not the county's. How is anybody supposed to deal with that?
And again, I keep referring back, especially when the pipe is directed onto private property.
It's literally about 8 feet away from the side of our driveway. It comes out parallel with the driveway, so it runs right down underneath. There's flooding in the garage, all the floor in the garage. If you walk, all of the concrete is cracked. You can hear hollow spots in the floor because it's washed out. Now the garage needs to be fixed.
And there's no ditch.
There's no ditch anywhere.
On this side
no.
of the roadway.
Nothing was done. All they did was stick a pipe through and made that the focal point and just said, well, it'll go between the hedges, no problem. And now that they've done that and there is a problem, it's not their responsibility. It's the homeowners. This is what we're dealing with. Like, I've got this thing going, and then as soon as this thing fills up, I take the lid off of it, like that, and then I've been dropping this in here like this, and plugging this in, and bailing out the shop back, and filling it back up again. That about 2 minutes? And that's number 8 or 9. Fill it up again. Drop the anchor back in. Fire up the pump. It's like rinse, wash, repeat.